Hello again, YouTube! You're either here to learn or just be entertained, maybe, by how to make the Sonic Movie 2 design of Knuckles the Echidna. We are starting off with a dancer. By no means do we intend Knuckles to be a dancer when we do that. Here in Scribblenauts Unlimited, yes, that's the name of this game, you pick your starting object or source object, essentially on a few principles. You can do it a little bit based on behaviors of whatever that source object is, but it's also to save yourself some stamp space and some other reasons. What I mean by stamp space? Well, we're typing in this Pachycephalosaurus. Here in Scribblenauts, you can type in anything from the dictionary and then use a piece of it in the object editor right now, which is the feature that we're doing. We're creating our own version of Knuckles with, for instance, that Pachycephalosaurus back leg piece. It was the thigh. And then the shofar, that's the tail. You can already probably see some of its shape starting to form, right? Well, we're going to take this back arm of a mutant there in Scribblenauts. This is going to start off the shoes. We did keep on the original legs of the dancer. We can maybe talk about that a little bit later. It has a slight importance. We're going to use an angel. It's just looking for, essentially, we wanted an arm that was kind of thin, but not too thin. We wanted it to have like a slight bit of meat. Maybe show that Knuckles has a little bit more muscle than, say, like our Sonic design. You saw that a little bit, just a sneak peek, and we'll get a look at that too later on in the episode. But you saw that earlier in like the first 10 seconds of this video. A cone is going down after we just used boxing gloves. So the boxing glove, wonderful shape, and I actually have created Knuckles just a few times in the past. Now, this would have been the video game versions, you know, so we kind of had like almost a classic Knuckles design from way back in the days. That would have been almost when I was starting the Scribblenauts series way early on. 2012 or probably 13 is when I created that. But anyway, when Sonic Boom came out, we also made a Sonic Boom version of Knuckles from that game, and so, wow, like a trip down memory lane right now. This is a really interesting stamp. Looks like a Lego piece, right? It's called takoyaki, I believe. If not obvious, I mean, we're putting it down on his shoes right now, but the actual meaning of that word, like, it's a dish. It's a Japanese word, like a Japanese snack. I've never had it. It's apparently octopus balls. No, I don't mean those balls. Okay, ground meat. Why did I spell it this way? Let's, okay, meat. M-E-A-T. This is getting a little bit more on the shoes right now. We want to decorate those as close as we can, but we don't want to use too many stamps, right? It's like, that's the key. Funnel cake, that's another piece of stamp, right? If you're new to Scribblenauts Unlimited and creating objects, maybe you're catching my drift right now. That's why I was saying, like, right? And so with that, we're using this combination of stamps and things from the dictionary to make our character. Let's go with Dory, this bottom fin right now. We got this crest, little white down here on the chest part. So this is looking good. I'm naming it Movie Knuckles. We actually do have a little bit more space though, so I can probably include some other things, like for instance on the gloves here, make them a little bit more detailed by including that mutant back arm piece there at the tip where it meets the wrists and stuff. We're gonna go into the properties editor. I might be able to add a few more things after this, but this is where you edit like the health of your character and the audio, like what it sounds like, what it acts like, lots of things, scripting. So I like to read background information and fun facts whenever this is happening on this series, so let's do this for Knuckles the Echidna, a character from the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, but I'd actually be curious if there's even a single person out there who found this video that actually didn't know Knuckles from any of the Sonic games before today. We'll obviously put most of our background information efforts into Knuckles as he's seen and acts in the Sonic 2 movie, from what we can tell. After just seeing how awesome Knuckles looks in the movie's design, I think the first thing that actually drew me to him, and it could have drawn me away if it wasn't done right, was Idris Elba voicing the character. Idris Elba is a god, man, and I normally don't deny him being involved with any movie for any reason, but in this case I was wondering how it was going to work out with him voicing Knuckles. I'm seeing the movie this week, I hope, as it hasn't even released quite yet as I record this commentary. April 5th is today, but in all the trailers and things, Idris does wonderfully, and as we got the head getting started, we obviously need the head to go onto the body. All you saw so far was the body, but this is how we can get more stamp spaces if we create them as two separate objects and combine them in the end. You'll see that process soon. But it does seem that they really were inspired to take Knuckles back to the way that he was in the 90s. Hardcore, edgy, etc. And I'm all here for it. One thing of note, however, is that when you look at Knuckles back on the Sega Genesis, his height largely matches that of Sonic's, and even kind of Tails is like close in height as well. Over time, and in the movie of course now, we've seen that the characters change, and most notably Knuckles was really tall like in Sonic Boom, sure, but he's also bigger and taller a little bit in the number 2 movie as well. I'm ready for it. Again, I'm gonna try to see it this week. We got a Kraken going down right now. We're gonna take a specific tentacle piece. I'm going to zoom in on this right here in editing, just so you guys know which one. It's going to be kind of to our left right here. Kraken tentacle part. That's going to get us some eyebrows. Like, we want to make sure that his eyebrows are definitely making that hardcore, edgy, bent down shape. Yeah? And so you saw pebble was for the white of the eyes, and definitely when you include that Kraken eyebrow part, that's going to shape the eyes a lot better than if they would have not been there. And so we'll go with oval. That's going to get this color, or the iris right now in the eyes. We'll go with cuttlefish after that. We're going to take a tentacle piece that's kind of near the cuttlefish's head. I'll zoom in on that as well. And we'll take that, paint it all the way black, make it vertical, stand it up here in the eyes, and that's looking good. Knuckles is all coming together. We had flying fish, the bottom fins. Those were used as part of Knuckles' spiky hairs that go down. You're seeing it come together, though. I mean, this is looking like how I imagined it, which is great. I always love that. Scorpion, we can take this semi-shiny part of the tail piece that's closer to the scorpion's body. There's like an upper and lower tail part in the middle. So anyway, jellyfish gonna come up after that. We painted it black for the nose on that scorpion piece, and the jellyfish, you can take this one little line. It's just like a tentacle piece that is close to the jellyfish's body that, again, looks like a straight black line. And so when you combine it with this fin of this fish, it's a pike, we're gonna give it this color pattern or texture pattern that looks like a net, and that actually looks like his teeth. Like, that looks legit. This is so awesome. One thing to distinguish it too is to also make it pretty furry and hairy. That's something that I think the Sonic movie gave us also with Sonic the Hedgehog tails, whereas the video games, you know, they look a little bit more sleek and shiny, smooth, etc. Not all of them, it's just maybe in the past. And so here in the properties editor on your head object, go to the equipment tab, make sure you fill in this circle that says can be worn on the face like glasses. You could also do it as worn on the head like a hat, I guess, but glasses usually gets it where I want it to be for the most part, and then you can kind of edit that afterwards. So this is so dope. This is about the height that I was thinking of. You know, you want Knuckles over Sonic a little bit. Now, Sonic is sinking way into the ground, and that's what I was meaning when I was saying we might talk about, like, the dancer keeping on the original source object legs of that dancer. There we go. I was wondering why Knuckles was running away here, but look at this. Here is the brawl of the century. I don't know how this is going to end yet at the time of this recording, which is great because it means I won't spoil anything for you guys. But the Sonic movie 2, I know that they're going to be fighting. We're going to see what happens, but Sonic actually maybe is going to win this, it's looking like. I think we have Sonic's HP in, like, overdrive right now, which is okay, I guess, but maybe you want it to be a little bit more closely matched in your game. That might be something I edit too. We created that movie Sonic right there, that design. I still like it, actually, all this time later, but can you guys believe that the Sonic movie, the first one, it came out all the way back then? It seems like a long time from now, but it was like the last thing that me and my family did. It was me and my wife on Valentine's Day. We went to the theaters with our son, who was 2 at the time, and little did we know the world was about to change like crazy. You just saw Knuckles ate some grapes right here. But yeah, dude, that was like just before the COVID lockdowns. It's insane. It was the last thing that my family really did out. Last main thing, we'll say, before COVID quarantine. So we've got a missile. You know, Sonic does the whole return to sender thing. I'm trying to get him to grab onto this, but it looks like it's a little bit too big. We just made it small. Now he can go ahead and hold it. So let's see. We're gonna provoke them and get them into a fight right now. Okay, it's totally not doing what I thought it was gonna do. It's actually making Sonic even faster, and Sonic is actually, we've got him scripted to be the fastest that he can be in Scribblenauts, but that fight was giving him a lot of speed right here. It might not have been the missile, actually, so I'm just gonna go ahead and interact with this. The missile's not working like how I thought it was. This is gonna be mass destruction. Boom! I'm sorry. God, Knuckles looks pissed, dude. All that's left is a head. Okay, so this is like another maybe reference to the movie we can see. So I'm gonna take the snowboard. This is what happens. So notice how Sonic and a little bit Knuckles, actually, their legs go way down below it. So Sonic was a character that when we created it, we did take off the source object's legs, the source legs, basically. You know, we took them off and then replaced them with something else. Knuckles, we kept them on, but what happened was we did build our character underneath that in the object editor. So you can see actually his shoes, which was where the dancer's feet ended. His shoes went underneath that, and so they are, dude, this looks terribly wrong. Look at how stupid this looks with me. Like, my character sinks way into the ground. The point is, if you take off the legs, the characters are really gonna sink into the ground. So here's like a hoverboard that can take him up off it. I was actually hoping they were gonna move a little bit more, but instead they're just doing this goofiness that actually kind of fit, to be honest, if Sonic's legs would just be in the right place, right? But that's unfortunately one of the kind of mini limits of Scribblenauts Unlimited. Yeah, I know, it's called Unlimited. The game actually does have its limits, ladies and gentlemen. But look at the crew. We did actually make several other characters as well. Like, we had Baby Sonic, we had the Dr. Robotnik before he kind of went crazed on the Mushroom Planet from the first movie. So yeah, those are all Sonic Movie 1 designs right there. Now being joined by Knuckles. You guys feel free to request something if you want to see it in the comments below. Check out an end screen, on screen. screen to see another one, and thanks for viewing.
Ants.
Down the road up